I love this tweet here. Before we look at the Sabo video, this tweet here from Ingrid. Don't know who they are, but I made it clear. I hope it's sarcastic, but I don't think it is. I just said I bookmarked this so I could talk about it, this incredibly shit and hopefully sarcastic take later on. So essentially, people are complaining a lot about shooting stars, especially on RuneScape Twitter. Reddit, not so much from what I found. But yeah, let's just replace every single skill with a 30k XP an hour AFK method and then rename to OSRS medieval auto cookie clicker electric star fuckery and just add some MTX while we are not playing the game anyway, because who the fuck cares about game integrity and achieving something? So I'm hoping this is sarcastic and a joke, because like this is obviously fucking incredibly shit take. The thing is, whether Ingrid believes this or not, people genuinely feel this way, especially in the Twitter space. People are really upset because the comparison is Duke's mining. They got rid of Duke mining and gave us the shooting star changes, right? And what did the shooting star changes bring? The shooting star changes gave us shooting stars that now don't deplete based on the amount of people, which means they're super AFK. So one big problem people have, before we get into the server problems people have a problem with that being now 30k XP an hour AFK. The difference is right, and I'll give you guys a pie chart here, so that way we're all on the same page here. All right, you've got a pie chart. All right, and into this pie you have 24 hours. You have 24 hours. All right, 24 hours a day. Now let's say, not all of us, but the normal person sleeps for, how do you do 8? Let's say the normal person sleeps for 8 hours of the day. Is that about 8? 1, 2, 3. That's about 8 hours, right? Probably. No, that's a clock. Hold on. So let's say 8 hours of the day, right? This is sleep. Okay? And then based on, you know, everyone's different. So let's just say the generic RuneScape player is unemployed and or addict in their mother's basement with dreams of doing something with their life. Probably just being a hoe. So this is RuneScape time, okay? Brown is RuneScape time. Now, people had a problem because red is not RuneScape time. Red is sleepy time. But Duke mining, let me finish off doing my little crosshairs here for my autism. All right, so you got brown time is RuneScape time, and Duke mining made red time RuneScape time, okay? This is what Duke mining did. Duke mining cut into sleepy time, which meant every time was RuneScape time, no matter what you did in life, okay? 40-hour days. Mate, shut up, all right? I'm not having 40-hour days. I'm trying to draw a fucking pie graph. Just let me cook, all right? Fergo is frothing. I know. Fergo is loving this red berry pie. So Duke mining made every day RuneScape day. But what Shooting Stars is doing now, people are complaining because Shooting Stars is super AFK and, you know, mining XP, you're not really taking away the problem. The problem is that what people are missing is that star mining doesn't cut into sleepy time, because you still have to click the star, you still have to find a star, you still have to hot word, you still have to interact with the client. So now Shooting Stars, while people might not like that everyone's AFKing Shooting Stars, this is where you could be doing Slayer, you know, maybe a bit of bossing, you know, maybe a bit of Wintertod, you know, maybe a bit of scamming at the Grand Exchange, and then maybe a little bit more Wintertod down here, and then this is where you do like this is where you bot your rooftops, all right? Bot agility, okay? That's pretty much what we all do in RuneScape. And what Shooting Stars is doing is Shooting Stars is cutting into RuneScape time. So now you're doing less Slayer and less bossing and less Wintertod. You're probably not cutting into your botting agility time, but less scamming as well. So Shooting Stars is, while you're getting a lot of AFK mining XP, you're getting less RuneScape time in, okay? So people, if you have a problem with Shooting Stars, remember that all Shooting Stars is doing is slowing down everyone else's progression. So I'm not convinced Shooting Stars is going to remain this popular for very long. Okay, does this make sense? If you listen to Reddit, you're retarded. If you listen to Twitter, you now have terminal illness. Yes, that's absolutely right. So Shooting Stars is eating into everyone else's RuneScape time, not into sleepy time. So Shooting Stars, good for game. Absolutely. Shooting Stars is not cut into my scamming time, though. Of course, no, it never cuts into scamming or botting agility. That's fair. How did you regrow your hairline? I never lost my hairline. I don't have weak genes. So we're gonna call this the pie. All right. So takes like this are automatically, based on that logic, dumb as shit. The XP per hour, AFKing, Shooting Stars, it's not a problem, okay? If anything, it just means there's less idiots where you want to be. Less idiots crashing you. I love how how does Microsoft Edge crash? Imagine using Edge. Imagine shutting the fuck up, please. So the problem with Microsoft Edge, sorry, the problem with the server problems from Shooting Stars is people are saying that people hopping worlds is creating a lot of traffic and people are lagging. I'm of the impression that it's copium. I've never had... I tell a lie. If you're hopping worlds onto a star or near a star, yes, that'll happen. I believe. But I think if there is a crash star that everyone's going to in Falador, and you're in Kourend, or you're doing Chambers of Xeric, I'm not convinced that you are going to have world lag or server lag or anything like that at all. I can't see that happening. I've not experienced that at all. It does seem like a band-aid fix for mining, though. How's it a band-aid fix? Like, the skill does need something else, in my opinion. It's not a band-aid fix at all. It's a buff. Like, Shooting Stars have been out for a while. This is just a buff to Shooting Stars. Why is... Fine, die. I don't care. Close the shit. All right, back to business. Sorry. So, yeah, I'm not convinced that servers are really having a problem, in my opinion. They could obviously do more for mining, but they didn't do this buff to fix mining. They did this buff because people clearly had a problem, or still have a problem, with the way mining is being trained, and that there's no real benefit to mining because ores are so easily available. There's no value in mining because it's like 75 mil motherload mine from 30 to 99, but it's really slow. There is a lot more value in mining Shooting Stars now because you also get a lot of easy access to, what's it called, to gems and to soft clay as well. Use Opera GX. I don't use Opera GX. I didn't like it when I had it. So I don't find it a band-aid fix. I think it's just a straight-up buff. And that doesn't mean they're going to stop working on mining. I don't think the server issues are a problem. As someone who lived and breathed Starlink and satellite internet, and played this game extensively on satellite internet for the longest time, I am not convinced that the server problems are a thing. A lot of server problems, in my opinion, in this game are your ISP, not your server, not the servers themselves. I think people need to understand that and accept that more. I can't see it. If you have an example, if you have server problems and actual server lag, I would like you to record it and send me the footage because I'm not convinced that it is the game a lot of the time. Osworlds are really good. ISP client issues, mostly. Absolutely. If you turn on Entity Hider, you're likely to have a lot less lag as well. If you stop running 117 HD, for fuck's sake, maybe use the GPU plugin, you'll have a lot more consistency with your performance. I'm not convinced the servers are suffering that much from Shooting Stars. I haven't seen it personally. I've been told about it. Everyone talks about it. No one seems to be experiencing it. So, that's a hot, and in my opinion, consistent take. How did NFL betting go? You guys are shit at NFL. You know nothing. The only server lag I've really seen in this game is on the total level worlds. They seem to be absolute shite. They might be less responsive, but less responsive and like actually lagging are two different things in my opinion. But I also don't really have that problem. I'll do it for you next time it happens. It shows up on Ping Grapher plugin. If it shows up on Ping Grapher plugin, then it's likely your internet, not the server. Also on a weird fiber internet, so I know for a fact it's not my ISP. You're on wired fiber internet. It could be your ISP though. A lot of claymates have complained about star lag. I always check to see if there's a star in their world. Yeah, if it's star lag, it's if they're near the star, I'd imagine. But if you're in an instance, if you're in a theater of blood, you're not going to feel star lag from fucking Catherby, are you? Doesn't even make sense. Your guides upset me, dude. I don't care. ODC when using 117 HD for some reason. Yeah, that's probably a client problem. Yeah, 117 is optimized as like GPU. The only issues I've had server-wise are when the servers just die due to ISP issues or my local internet power goes out. That's all I get. I've never had a bad world because of a shooting star or because of just too many people. I was on a server where it felt like I was disconnecting, but everyone else started complaining about lag too. That happened around a shooting star. Because I've been disconnected around a shooting star, but I haven't been disconnected when I've been away from one. At all. You're in an empty bank? Where was the nearest star? It does affect server ping, but it's not as bad as people are saying it is. But if you're doing something like tier 8, it's way more noticeable. I don't know, man. 330 is fucked, even though most are in player in houses. I don't know much about 330. It's hard for me to tell. Can you tell if 330 is fucked if you're always on 300 ping anyway, or 200 ping? Have you tried doing PVM on World 330? Well, no, because I'm Australian. I just don't go to that world. But I know World 390, when LMS bots are on, I don't have a problem on World 390. And that's just as populated. That was full the other day. They really upset you? Here, let me upset you further by banning you. See you later. And cry about that. I use HDOS and have no problems? I don't know much about that. I don't. That's my experience. Even having really bad internet, I find that it is often the game is not the problem. So that's what I'm saying. 4070 over here doesn't matter. PVM World 330 is just fine. I'm from the Midwest and 30 ms ping there always. I don't know. I don't think it's as bad as people say it is.
Good morning, everybody.
Sebe, this is Sebe, by the way, talking about Shooting Stars. I don't know what he has to say. We've looked at his content before. A lot of controversy about his content lately, so let's see what he has to say about Shooting Stars. 330 has constant world hoppers all the time. Those servers that have star hoppers are way less frequently hopped than 330. Does that matter?
I am mining some Shooting Stars right now, and I want to talk about my overall thoughts on the buff that it got last week, and just talk a little bit more about mining in general and maybe some potential balancing changes. I'm going to bring up a Reddit post right now that is covering the balance of Shooting Stars, which was from Mr. Link Addict, and he says, with the release of the Shooting Stars update on Wednesday, a lot of discussion has been generated around the topic, from things like stars causing world lag to people praising mining as finally being good. And
it is. I think mining is. I never had a problem with motherload mining. I honestly didn't mind it. Didn't mind it. Sorry, not didn't mind it. Because I got 81 mining. The only reason I stopped is because I got the pet. But I AFK the fuck out of motherload mine. I think motherload mine is honestly good content. So yeah, but I agree. It definitely could be a lot better. Unfortunately, it's not. But Shooting Stars is like the best mining content currently for me now. The problem is Blast Mine. No one does Blast Mine. No one cares about Blast Mine because it's too much effort for not enough XP. And Volcanic Mine, no one wants to learn Volcanic Mine at the same time. If you learn Volcanic Mine, I'm sure you'd have a lot more fun mining. The problem is, and this is what we talked about with sailing, right? And this is a big point that came out with sailing, is that sailing can't be like mining, or like it can't be a skill with low XP rates. It has to have a high XP rate. This is evidence that if it's a low XP rate, it has to be mega AFK and have no fucking depth and just mine by gems. Because that's what makes people happy. If Motherload Mining gave you 100k XP an hour at like level 70, you wouldn't have a problem. You would mine the shit out of it and just get it done. So I think it's important to notice the other end of the spectrum here, which is that if it's a really low XP rate, you're doing nothing, which they're not going to do that with selling, because that just removes all creativity, all development just goes out the window. They're not going to do that with a skill. So they have to make sure that the XP rates are incredibly they don't have to be busted, like Wintertop busted, but they should be in that direction, absolutely.
Claiming the method is overpowered. This post will focus on the balance of Shooting Stars with regards to XP per hour and effort level required. At this point, it is widely accepted within the OSRs community that higher effort methods should almost always result in higher experience gains. To look at how Shooting Stars fits within the mining ecosystem, let's first take a look at some of the more popular ways to train mining. Experience values in this table are taken from the OSRS wiki. Okay, so as we see, Shooting Stars, and this is very accurate, it's roughly 25k to 30k mining XP per hour based on star size.
The higher the star tier, the more XP you get, but the less dust you get as well. So for those that don't realize, you can chase level 9 tier stars, but honestly, I think level 6 to 7 is a really comfortable level. That way you still get a decent amount of dust too, because I think I like the dust more than the XP from Shooting Stars personally. I think it would be a good end of the world. I don't think it would be the end of the world to have Wintertod type minigame for slow skills like mining and woodcutting. I mean, woodcutting is leveled up naturally through Wintertod at a pretty decent rate. Do you think they release 2.3k total words of sailing? Maybe.
The effort is very low, which is very
maybe not.
It is
2.25 maybe
possible thing. I mean, truly, I have just clicked on this brand new tier 1 star. I mean, it was just a tier 2 and it just turned tier 1. I will literally sit here for 15 to 20 minutes without clicking again.
I love it.
And I'm getting Stardust, and I'm getting Crystal Shards, and I'm getting Clue Scrolls, and I'm literally doing nothing. Anyway, so, and of course, you only get Crystal Shards if you're in Prif. I am in Prif right now, so.
Shout out
which
to
is why I scouted, or I didn't scout this, I just looked at the star mining Discord, and I go to the Prif ones, preferably. Okay, so, let's go back to the Reddit post real quick. Motherload mine is 30k to 53k. Now, of course, these are all estimates. These are not like the guaranteed super sweatiest methods. I believe in every single one of these, you can actually get slightly higher if you're going to sweat. Amethyst, of course, you know, if you wanted a 3-tick amethyst, you also get higher. You get about 40k.
3-ticking amethyst.
Volcanic Mine, 68k to 84k. Blast Mine, 55k. You can actually get up to 80k on this one as well.
Has anyone here actually done blast mining? Because dynamite is always expensive, but I just sell it. I've only listened to this guy when we've watched. He sounded like he's crying about everything. He's not crying about this. He's just explaining a Reddit post. He's talking through it. Blast mining sucks ass. I've never done it. Is it shit? Wouldn't surprise me.
Rocks, 40. Again, if you 3-tick gem rocks, you're getting 118k. But they show it right here. Gem rock 3k.
Yeah,
there we go.
3-tick gem rocks.
Iron ore and granite. So these are roughly the methods that you get to do when you're training mining. Now, I would love it if, you know, there was some other methods added. You know, I just brought up that video like a week ago about the gold horseshoe. That method alone would be around, you know, 115k XP an hour with about 2,000.
He's talking about a method that he came up himself with, as you said, if you haven't seen it, the gold horseshoe on Brimhaven. I didn't watch the video, but I saw that he made a video on it, but over in Brimhaven where you do that fucking whistleblower quest for the butt pirates in that kingdom. This place up here, he had like some sort of mining method up here. I don't know what it is, but that's I don't know what the fuck it's about.
Gold ore per hour, or 1,500 if you don't have any like boosting gear like Maxcape or Varrock armor or anything. So a nice profitable method. You could still AFK it if you want, but I thought that would be cool. I also think it would be cool if, you know, silver got some treatment where you could mine silver rocks. That would actually be better than iron. Like, really, I would love to see silver rocks be just as fast as respawning as iron and just as high of a success rate as iron. So you're actually getting slightly more XP by mining silver. And then, of course, I would love to see silver smithing gauntlets come into the game already. I think it's ridiculous that it's almost 2024 and we still don't have silver smithing gauntlets. Like, come on.
What would you need silver smithing gauntlets
really?
for?
We're really going
to... How do you get silver bars? I know how you get silver ore. You get silver ore by doing cocks. That's about it, really, or those lizards. But like, can you get silver bars from anything? What the fuck? What is this bad gateway shit? It's a fucking wiki. Is this me? Are the RuneScape servers lagging? What? What happened? Quantity. I can't even... Oh, there we go. That's better. Let's have a look. Quantity. What can you get in decent quantity? Casket. What the fuck is it? Temporos. Temporos. Good silver bars. Okay, nice. Gauntlet, if you die. Ornate lockbox. I don't know what that is. Reward tokens. Burgundy rod. Okay. Elaborate lockbox. I don't know what that is. That's all. Okay, so silver bar. Look, silver ore and bars is a little tedious to get because it's really chambers of Zarek where you get a lot of it from. Silver ore, however, it's worth keeping in mind. Not that it's really related to this, but silver ore is they're the chaos rune of mining. When I say that, I mean they are worth the same amount of toggle as a chaos rune, and you could sell 27,000 silver ore for a onyx just like you could with your chaos runes, which some people don't realize. You should absolutely do that if you have a lot of silver laying around. So I do agree that silver ore and silver bars in general are kind of hard to come by. Like, then you've got to actually smith it yourself. But I don't know about the silver gauntlets. I feel like it's really a very low tier metal or low tier alloy to really be trying to buff XP on. I don't think many people are smithing silver anyway. So maybe increasing the opportunity to get silver bars at drops is a better play to go. But yeah, Zolcano does it too. There you go, silver ore. I didn't even know that. That's awesome. 1K Zolc KC and you're set on silver. There you go. Yeah, you don't really use silver a whole lot anyway, do you? I sell it. Other than, like, I guess it depends how many expeditious and slaughter bracelets you want to make and things like that. But the silver jewelry doesn't really go out at an alarming rate. I mean, they made it with combat tasks to give you a chance to reuse your silver jewelry too on Slayer tasks as well. 3.5k ore from Zora. Oh, sorry, Zolcano. Okay. Maybe they can instead make you smelt silver faster instead of giving more XP. That's called a blast furnace, mate.
You're going to be smithing gold and getting, what, 52 XP per gold or 56, whatever it is, and silver's like 12. I think silver is like 12 or 17 XP. Like,
yeah, but basic gold is like 20 XP. So
bar smelted. Like, it's just laughably low. Anyway, so there obviously needs to be some changes. Now let's finish what he says. So he says, taking a look at the table, it actually seems like the balance in mining is quite good as the effort level of methods rise, the experience per hour rises quite dramatically. Did I just misread that? Anyway,
that's kind of an interesting take. So I know I keep stopping and talking about it, but that's the job. Can I go back 5? Thank you. So with that statement, yeah, it looks like the balance in mining is quite good. That's how it looks. I don't think so, because this requires 3 ticking gem rocks and granite to breach 100k an hour. Iron ore even is consistently like high intensity. You're not getting over 100k XP an hour in mining unless you are 3 ticking. That's what you're looking at here. That includes with minigames, volcanic and blast mines. Agility is another skill that's got this problem. Like, that is, in my opinion, really bad. You're pushing the limit just to hit 100k XP an hour, and while that might not seem good for game integrity, every other skill is that consistent that that is why this skill feels so underwhelming, because the XP rates are so low, and that's what people want. People care about it. You shouldn't have to 3-tick to struggle to reach XP rates that other skills provide in a more enjoyable and just like low intensity way, right? People don't want to 3-tick. You shouldn't have to 3-tick to reach 100k. If you wanted to reach 150 plus, or even 200k 3-ticking, then absolutely. There's nothing wrong with that. That would make more sense. But this is so out of touch for the rest of the skills, in my opinion, that like it makes sense that people don't want to fucking train this skill. Blast mining and volcanic mine, that is just not enough. I don't think every level has to be the same. Some levels can suck a little to grind, and that's all right. I think stars are a great addition. I think stars are a great addition because the amount of the AFK ability of it is so big that it doesn't matter how little the XP is, because it's better than what we just had with Duke mining. Fishing also can't hit 100k without 3-ticking. That's also true. Yeah, but you have Temporos, and that takes your mind off of it because you feel rewarded and you feel good. That's true. Otherwise, fishing, yeah, it's in the same boat. Temporos just fixes it for you. Zolcano doesn't give enough XP. That's my opinion. I think Zolcano needs to give a lot more XP. I know Venezuela's going to be popping off because of that, but if Zolcano gave, like, how much XP an hour is Zolcano? Thoughts on Herblore? It's good for potions. Is there an XP rate here somewhere? It's like 10, 15k an hour for mine. Fuck off it is. That's insane. I don't believe you. It's 1.4 mil an hour. Okay. What? Have we got a Zolcano XP rate somewhere? No, no way is it 10 to... What? Players can expect to get roughly 13,000 mining experience, 3k smithing, and 1,500 runecraft XP an hour when killing Zolcano efficiently. That's terrible. If you can get, you could get over 1 mil an hour at Zolcano, sure, if you grind it enough. But that, XP, GP wise, that is a problem for mining. That's what I think the problem is right there. Fuck all this. Like, smithing and runecrafting, if you want to keep them low as shit, fine. But this is a problem. You can't have something this fun and enjoyable that is Duke mining. That was Duke fucking salt mining. If Zolcano was 60,000 mining XP an hour, it's not as big as these, but 60k an hour with Zolcano, a lot more people were doing Zolcano, because that's a good XP rate for the level of engagement that boss and money that boss provides. That is Temporos level XP for Temporos, better than Temporos level rewards. I'm convinced that if it was way better, like, that is a problem. They should really buff the fuck out of that. That is terrible, man. The 60k I'd actually bother doing. Absolutely. What's according to Modash? Apparently, Agility Todd is coming before Mining Todd. Don't we have Hello Sepulchre? Least amount of XP per hour in a mining activity that can kill you. Yeah, like, it's a dangerous mini game. Yes, it's rewarding financially, but shit, like, Jagex. That's your problem. At least 30k now? Fuck that. No. This should be better than motherload mining. This should be better. It's in Prif. It requires Song of the Elves. It requires 70 mining. Maybe at a lower level, say 90 plus mining with a crystal pickaxe, you should be able to get 60k XP an hour. That's what I think. I think if they buff the shit out of this XP wise, you'll be sweet. You have to pay attention. You're at risk constantly. It's 1.4 mil per hour. It should be low XP. Yeah, that's a dumb take. The GE changes all the time. Gold rates change all the time. You could argue 70k. You really could. You honestly could. Like, efficiently, you could argue that. But then what do you do for smithing and runecrafting? Do you buff them as well? I'd say probably a little bit. Make it, I don't know, make it 13k smithing and maybe 10k runecrafting. You're not going to break runecrafting because of it. That's what I think Jagex should do. Buff the fuck out of Zolcano. That is the problem. That's why people don't want to do this fucking boss. Because you walk in there, you get fucked, and someone else gets the crystal tool seed, and you walk out with your dick in your hand. That's it. You know skill of shit when Tears of Guffet's minigame gives more than 1 hour of sweaty training? Yeah, that's terrible. That's your problem. I think that needs to be, like, looked at. Zolcano should be way more XP per hour. Mod Ash needs to think about Herb Todd Peros. Mod Ash needs to stop listening to people like you on Twitter. If Zolcano was better, I would have rushed it way faster. People would be less bothered about shooting stars. You'd have less people rushing shooting stars. It's a little bit bots, so use the bots to your advantage. That means you don't have to find a team to go Zolcano with. You've got bots there. Crash the bots. Jump in with them. Now you've got a team. Now you can do Zolcano effectively. That's perfect. Nobody's talking about buffing Zolcano out of all this controversy. They really should. I'm going to tweet it right now. I'm going to tweet it. I'm going to say, buffing Zolcano to 60k mining XP an hour at 85 plus mining is the best way to fix mining in OSRS. Done. Post that. Here you go. If you have Twitter, go ahead and fucking blow smoke up my ass. So everyone can be like, wow, must be such a good take. And then if someone's got a problem with it, we can give them the smackdown as well. There's a link there. Fucking hell. Can't believe the game... can't balance the game around bots. Buffing Zolcano is the way. Yes and no. Shut up! Fucking YouTube music. Anyways, back to the video. Sorry.
Affably low. Anyway, so there obviously needs to be some changes. Now, let's finish what he says. So he says, taking a look at the table, it actually seems like the balance in mining is quite good. As the effort level of methods rise, the experience per hour rises quite dramatically. Did I just misread that? Anyway, going all the way up to 130k if perfectly 3-tick mining granite.
Which people don't want to do. There's
Amethyst
no reward in granite mining, by the way. 3-tick granite mining doesn't give you any sort of GP. You're just getting XP.
Outlier here, but it is offset by the utility of amethyst arrows and darts. I urge Jagex and the players to not make knee-jerk reactions to a new, widely loved method being updated. Yes, stars are extremely low effort and allow for long periods of AFK, but their balance within the mining skill is quite good. As a small footnote, let's take a look at how much profit one can currently make per hour with the Stardust gained. At the time of this post, the best GP per hour Stardust conversion is soft clay packs at 84, value taken from the wiki. Yesterday, I AFK mined stars for approximately 11 hours and gathered 12,500
That's so
Stardust.
good, man.
This gives a number of 1,100 Stardust per hour. We'll round up to 1,150. Using the wiki rates of 84.67 GP per Stardust, this gives a profit per hour of roughly 97k. So,
to be honest, I don't think this is irrelevant. Like, I guess, yeah, small footnote, so he knows it's irrelevant, I guess. But no one cares about the gold per hour with this. We know it's not good.
First, again, let's round it up to 100k per hour. So me mining this right now is 100k GP per hour, apparently, if you're going to cash out on soft clay. As a comparison, mining amethyst is around 360k GP or to 400k GP per hour, 90 to 100 amethyst per hour. I'll not go into detail on how much profit the other methods are because I don't think that would change the discussion here in any significant way. Though if someone has these values, I would be interested to see them. So in conclusion, are shooting stars balanced well within the mining ecosystem? My belief is yes. The XP per hour fits very well within the already established methods, and is reasonable for the amount of effort required. The GP per hour is also quite low and should not harm the OSR's economy.
Yeah, I agree. I think all of this is irrelevant because I think shooting stars are well balanced. I think most people can agree with that. If you have a problem with it, because people's main problem with it is integrity, because you're just letting people AFK. And I think that you just have shit takes and a shit view. Like, people AFK all the time. People AFK Redwoods all the time. I'm AFKing Karen Browns right now. I've been AFKing Karen Browns on this account for like 3 months. I've spent like 4 bonds. Not 3 months, sorry. Bonds worth. So 3 or 4 bonds now I've spent just fishing Karen Browns on this account. That's all I've done. Nothing else. I have 960 total level. This account. I'm AFKing fucking magic logs. What's the difference between me and doing shooting stars? I'm making more money and XP here. So people are worried about game integrity that doesn't really affect them, or it doesn't even affect the game. The XP rates are incredibly low. That's because the rest of the skill is shit and needs to be looked at. And in my opinion, I think that we pretty much just summed up then. I didn't realize Zolcano was that bad. Zolcano needs an XP buff, and it needs it like... It needs it. If Zolcano was even remotely... If Zolcano it was better than Motherlode Mine, people would do it. If it was better than Gemrock Mining, people would do it. You don't need a free tick, but you'll make money. So yes, the problem is everything else, and that's why shooting stars are even better than they should be. And honestly, that'll draw people away from shooting stars, which will draw people away from the server lag everyone's dealing with, to win-win for everyone. 1-1 down at TOA, AFK for 100 hours and get carpal tunnel. Exactly.
So my initial thoughts on at least that lower part is, you know what? I actually think shooting stars are in a good place. I really do think that.
I agree.
I think, you know, being very low XP per hour, 25 to 30k XP an hour for 1 click, you do need to go, like, you need to...
This fucking comment, I'm lonely on RS. Does anyone have a clan I can join? Fucking hell.
You know, have the Discord open. You need to know where the next shooting star is going to be. Of course, yes, if you're going to find like a tier 9, you can literally sit there for like multiple hours on end and just click a few times every 20 minutes.
Yep.
Which, you know, in my personal taste, I think is maybe a bit too low of effort, but at the same time...
Yeah, but don't those stars despawn before they even hit level 1? I'm pretty sure those stars run out. Like, it's not possible for the star to last the entire 9 levels, right? I'm pretty sure it's been mining, if it's been mined since the second that it crashes. There's also a buff if you find the crash star, which is really hard to do now. If you find the crash star, you get like extra dust for the first 300 dust or something, I'm pretty sure. High tier only lasts a few minutes. Yeah, you kind of, you blitz through it all pretty quickly. It despawns at 2 hours when the next one spawns? Yeah, okay. Yeah, you have to click every tier. That's the thing, that's the difference between this and Duke mining. People bother about Duke mining because you can just put something on your spacebar and go to sleep. You can't do that with star mining, which makes it infinitely better for the game's integrity, which is what everyone wanted. I don't understand why people hate a skill that is AFK. There are a lot of high attention skills in the game currently. Why not have a few methods that are chill and relaxing that I can play on the side? Again, I think it's not about it just being AFK. I think it's about people feeling like they're just copping out. No one's putting any effort into mining. You don't need to. AFK is better than botting, exactly. Any problem with current shooting stars is that it brought to light how shit mining is. Yeah, it made everyone understand it even further. Combat is the best money maker by far, yet nobody complains about crabs or Nightmare Zone. Redditards are something else. Yeah, well, it's because they're all Nightmare Zoning and doing crabs themselves.
It's not like you're sitting here
My
for
first 99 was
2
mining,
hours
yes,
without having to click. You
Ever.
still
First ever
do
99.
need to click on the rock occasionally. And I think just that fact of not being able to like sleep overnight and gain XP, I think is
That's exactly
fine.
right, yep.
The game has obviously progressed to a point where we all kind of as a community think this kind of stuff is fine. And I think the XP rates are good as is. And I think it's just nice. I mean, you get a little bit of perks, you know, you get the Stardust, you get the Crystal Shards, as I said, if you're mining it in Periph, and you get some clue scrolls here and there. It's kind of like the equivalent of Redwoods, just even easier. One of the best parts, though, truly, of this star mining is the community. I mean, you just have people around you mining, and you can have...
Yeah, wait till the people at Wintertide find out about shooting stars. That community is going to go downhill. Ready to sleep on BBD bots. I don't know what that means. 24k XP an hour, game shattering. I know. I don't hear anyone complaining about cooking. Arguably the easiest 99 in the game. Super AFK skill. Yep, but you have to click the bank every 2.5 minutes or something, like, or minute even. Zolcano is a group activity which we need more of anyway. Absolutely needs buffed. I agree. Yep.
A conversation. A lot of people are like entirely AFK, so it's not like Wintertod chat where every single person is just
Racist.
spewing racist shit. It's like, no, 98% of the people here are completely silent for the whole time because they're just trying to work or, do whatever they're doing on the side and just AFK this. But you can spark up a conversation and just, have some fun. So that is the biggest perk of Shooting Stars. And you do end up traveling the world. You're not just in one particular spot endlessly in a private instance or anything. No, you're around the world.
The problem with Shooting Stars, though, for my clan, is that while everyone's AFK doing their own thing, instead of Easto talking to everyone at the Shooting Stars, he just starts talking to everyone and himself in the clan instead while at the Shooting Star. Everyone knows every shard he fucking gets. All we care about is how hot his sister is. So, I mean, some clans have suffered. Some clans are benefiting. It's personal preference.
And I think it's cool. So, however, I do need to share what I do think is imbalance now. Because if we are having Shooting Stars and we are fine with this very low method, I really do think that these other methods down below, like Motherlode Mine, Blast Mine, even Volcanic Mine, in my personal opinion, need to be updated.
I think we can skip this logic right here because we pretty much just summed up that Zolcano. I mean, you could buff these XP rates, but the idea of the Motherlode Mine is that it gives you 60 XP, I believe, per pay dirt, which is 10 XP more than coal. Coal gives 50, right? Or does coal give 30? It's either 10 or 30 XP more than coal. That way you're guaranteed to always get coal at a minimum, but you're guaranteed to always get more XP than coal by doing pay dirt. That's the way the system works. So if you do that, does that mean... then you get obviously the additional XP on top when you find out if it's gold, mithril, adamant, or rune. Do you then buff the pay dirt XP, but then does that mean you also buff the the cleaning XP as well? Do you leave the cleaning XP the same? Does that devalue the XP of coal even further? Do we care about it devaluing coal or the XP of coal? The way the Motherlode Mine works is meant to just literally be better than mining coal to get you a shit ton of coal. That's the logic. Do we look at these systems or do we just kind of leave them, introduce maybe a new system? And I really think that regardless, the Zolcano, it is incredible that is no fucking XP. I feel like you are just like that. Like I can't believe that is 13k XP an hour. Even getting an XP drop at the end of Zolcano, provided you do enough damage, like based on your mining level, is not a bad idea. But like that is absolutely insane. Tempoross doesn't do that. Tempoross doesn't give you a round finishing XP drop. Wintertod and Gardens Rift do though. So I think Zolcano is a bigger problem than these. Absolutely. Not every method needs to be 100% balanced. No. But the skill should feel like you are not going to kill yourself on the way to 99 or even on the way to like 85.
Least rewards wise. Personally, I think, and this is something I brought up in a past video of like the idea that what if, for example, you enjoy Motherlode Mine and the more you do it, you continually upgrade the place. And what I mean by that is imagine, you are cleaning your ore or your pay dirt and you now have a new unlock at Prospector Percy's shop where if you collect 1,000 gold nuggets, you can now pimp out the Motherlode Mine.
Fuck
so
that.
10% of all pay dirt you get will be a double roll. So you basically have just now increased Motherlode Mine's overall XP per hour by 10%. And then there would be another upgrade, maybe, another like 1,200 or maybe just another 1,000.
How many fucking nuggets that is?
Up to balancing sake. Maybe 1,000's too high, maybe it's too low. But something where if you really enjoy Motherlode Mine, you can keep pimping out that place the longer you stay there. And now, after 5 upgrades, you're now at Motherlode Mine getting like a 40% XP and GP increase by just having stuck it out there longer.
But by the time you hit a level like that, like you already have to, you can get to 72 mining before you can afford the full outfit upstairs, the bigger bag, and the sacks in the shop. You're going to be level 90 plus mining before you even fucking reach levels like this. Like, because you can't make it cheap for the nuggets, right? 1,000 might be too many nuggets, but 500 probably isn't. You're going to be, like... You're going to be level 90 mining by the time you even get to this point. That is just not worth it.
And I honestly think that progression of being there for longer and like that constant milestone that you're looking for, like, ooh, okay, as soon as I get this much more gold nuggets, I can now pimp out this place and get slightly more XP per hour. I honestly think that could be a good way of going about like actual interactive methods like Motherlode Mine. Obviously, that is considered AFK, not anymore with Shooting Stars. I mean, it's just Motherlode Mine is not even considered AFK when you compare it to Shooting Stars right now. So,
talking about gold,
anyway, let me know what you guys think about that kind of system. I would also say the same thing with Blast Mine, for example. Like, Blast Mine literally needs to be higher XP per hour. I truly think that. I think the rewards are in a decent place. At 99, you get about 1 mil GP per hour if you're like super efficient, which is not hard to do by any means. It would be cool though to have like a shop that's, you know, there's an upgrade now. Like as you do Blast Mine, you are getting points accumulated or something, and then you can spend those points at the Blast Mine shop, and there would be an upgrade that's saying, hey, spend 250 points. And now your excavations of the rock are now increased by 1 tick or 2 ticks. And that would progressively get faster. So at the very maximum, you've now slashed it.
But does this, I mean, this might not necessarily be a problem, but say, does this then decredit? Someone brought up a decent point in the chat. People aren't going to want to have upgrades to the Motherlode Mine requiring gold nuggets. If you've unlocked everything already and you've been spending hundreds of nuggets on fucking gem bags, you're going to be pretty pissed to find out that now you could have spent those nuggets in the future on an upgrade for an extra 10% XP an hour. Like, unlocking new ways to improve Blast Minus rather than just straight up fucking buffing the content, like giving you bigger XP drops, completing a bigger XP drop completion, like just like something based on your level is probably a more simple way to go about it. Literally, like, you don't have to add more effort. You don't have to add more depth to the content. Just straight up give you more XP. I think is probably the safest way to go about it. Motherlode Mine is fine. Motherlode Mine is fine, yes. Could it do better? Absolutely, of course. It'd be awesome if it was better. 10% is nothing? No, but you'd be doing it in stages, right? But you have to find a balance where you're not level 90 plus by the time you get to the final stage. That it's not worth your time. I know 92 is half of 99, but also 92 is pretty close to 99 when you look at your stats and you go, damn, I've only got a couple levels left. I don't see how nobody's crying about the fact that woodcutting is getting about going to get a full buff, a full 10% buff on XP rates, and people are bitching about mining XP rates. Because woodcutting is good. Woodcutting is completely AFK. Does make all rocks worldwide work like Motherlode Mine rocks? What, like you have to go and take them to the pay dirt machine? Fuck that.
The time in half of all your excavations. So it's not like a direct double XP because there's more to it than just excavating the rock. But at least the excavation process has been shortened dramatically, and now you're getting that benefit of just higher XP and higher GP per hour. But there is that also it's not even really a downside. It's actually almost more engaging in a way. Like you're spending more dynamite, you're getting more XP per hour, you're getting more GP per hour, but you have to be slightly more attentive. I mean, very
like trees are now,
because the place already isn't that AFK. So again, one of those things that I just think would be really cool. That if you enjoy Blast Mine, you could sit there, get these rewards, and feel like you're constantly progressing. That's one of the coolest things about PVM in general is like you're doing the fight. You know, let's just say you're like a mid-game Ironman and you're killing Sarachnis. Then you go somewhere else and you get some upgrades. And then you go back to Sarachnis and it feels more like a breeze. You're like, okay, like I've gotten some upgrades. This place, I'm getting more kills per hour. I'm getting more loot per hour. Like this feels better. And, you know, we could have another like a separate discussion entirely on further upgrades with equipment when it comes to skilling. You know, like pimped out.
I get what he's saying.
Like
I get what he's saying. So
mining gloves for
the idea is that if you can get better gear for mining, then when you go back to mining, the skill feels less tedious in certain content. Kind of like how you go bossing, like you said with Sarachnis. You go Sarachnis as a noob, you come back better gear, better levels. It's obviously better. The difference is people often get skills to 99, then stop. People get to 99 Slayer, people get to 99 combat stats, and they still go bossing, and they still go back. So that's why it works a lot more conventionally in PVM, and why it seems to make more sense with PVM. You can't really do that with skilling because people have no need to go back to mining once they hit 99. So having that sort of development in a skill is really hard to justify, because people, you're gonna be hitting max by the time you've got all the gear you need. You're kind of just constantly working and working and working. That AFKing the skill, which a lot of people want to do or tend to do, never becomes something that they have time to do. They just feel like they've always got to put effort into a skill. PBM has a billion more clogs? Absolutely. PBM is just more in depth. I really wish upgrading from Rune Peak it wasn't so harsh, not gonna lie. It's either a good chunk of money or a wildy / lot of VM. Well, you can just go to Cowfight Queen or KBD. Can you get mining pet from stars? Yes, it's extremely rare, but you can. It's one of the rarer pet rates in the game.
For example, who knows if we could have like more tools and stuff, but I'm gonna leave that discussion aside right now and let's just pimp out the mini.
KQ is dog shit, let's be honest. No, KQ's good.
You know, how much better that minigame can become just by doing it for longer. The same thing would go with Volcanic Mine. Who knows, maybe there could be some upgrades, like just very simple, like you now have a 10% shot of getting a double mine whenever you're mining. So it's just small little upgrades. Now, of course, Volcanic Mine does need to be a little bit more carefully balanced, simply because there are like 1+1 methods and things that already can get you to like 105k XP per hour, I believe. So we got to be a little bit careful, just so we're not like encroaching on these like super high.
No, we should absolutely be doing that.
However,
absolutely we should.
With the introduction of something like a gnome cube, which I know I've brought up like 7,000 times at this point, but I'm gonna.
I love the consistency that I respect it. If Sebe has an idea, he will always find a way to circle back to talking about it in his videos. I respect that. He's got a, in his mind, whether you agree with it or not, like in his mind, he's got a fix for something, and he will always circle back to implementing it into the game somehow. I respect that. That's so fucking funny.
It up. So, if there were something like a gnome cube, which just drastically reduces the wrist pain associated with long hours of trying to tick manipulate, if we could just simply agree as a community that this would be a healthy update, because I've painted out the arguments of really all the benefits of it and the very little downsides, if any. And the downsides are really all just purist elitist takes, in my personal opinion. So if we could, you know, just see that how much of a benefit a gnome cube could be, then we really could kind of slightly encroach on these methods of, you know, 130k XP per hour, because these 3-tick mining methods wouldn't be quite as daunting and painful to execute.
So the idea of the gnome cube, I believe, is instead of doing actual 3-tick mining or a 3-tick method, you click the gnome cube and it mimics that animation. It mimics that process that you can 3-tick manipulate content without having to move your mouse. You just have to click the item in your inventory instead. So the idea is to remove that the motion and the multiple clicking and still get that manipulation in game. Saves a click. It saves a click. It saves you. Yeah. So it's easy to just click, 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 click instead of click, 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 click. It's meant to just make it easier for players to 3-tick without having to put in an excessive amount of effort. That way you can do it more consistently without like, because you can do it for maybe 5-10 minutes, right? 3-ticking. But doing it for like an hour on end is more tedious. But if you have the gnome cube, it's meant to make that more enjoyable. More doable, I guess. Does No Monkey have 2 gnome cubes? I don't think so, no. You can already do it with Celestria's Bark and Purple Sweets? I don't know about that. I have no clue.
Cute, continuously. So, I don't know. This is just my personal thoughts on mining in general. I think... oh yeah, and as I said earlier, you know, with gold mining, if that was introduced and, you know, we just had a full rebalance of how those rocks work around the world, that would be another method that's like 115k XP per hour. Silver, if you wanted to 3-tick silver and they acted exactly like iron rocks with just a maybe very, very slightly less success. So iron rocks at a certain point are 100% mining success rate. Silver could be like 98% or 99%. So it's not quite as high, but if you were to choose to mine silver, I believe iron rocks are 35 XP and silver's 40 XP. So iron's, it says here, is 80k XP per hour. I could imagine silver being about 84, maybe 85k XP per hour. And then, of course, with the release of silversmithing gauntlets, that would actually give a use
That's
to
not gonna fucking
silver,
happen,
especially if you're like an Iron Man. Anyway, I'm just throwing out thoughts here. So let me know what you guys think down in the comments. Basically, if you are just skipping to the end of the video and you want kind of like a brief overall summary, really what I'm thinking is mining shooting stars. I think shooting stars are in a fine place right now, but it has kind of devalued the incentive to do other methods, especially like motherlode mine and blast mine, and these methods that are just kind of slightly above shooting stars, and the rewards are kind of dog shit. So let's just take a closer look at these other methods that are actually interactive, because that means every single motherfucker is doing shooting stars. And I don't necessarily think they're overpowered. I just think the other methods are now underpowered. So let me know what you guys think down in the comments. And yeah.
I'm going to die on the hill of Zolcano needing buffing, in my opinion. This man stocked up on silver. Oh, yeah, you know this guy's got silver ore for fucking days, for sure. Is the bark all the time, but if you fuck up the process, you lose it. Yeah, absolutely. I'd rather they just fix the skill and not make me 3-tick to get over 50k now. Yeah, I think that's ridiculous. Still kind of new to this game, but why is it that we're sweating over this when cooking is the same, has some insane XP rates? It's just the way that it's been balanced since like day one. Mining silver on my Ironman is depressing. Yes, it is. But I don't think we're getting silver smithing gauntlets. Feel like osrs would end up having silver gauntlets though, and then pay minerals to combine them. Why would you have silver gauntlets though? Who the fuck is smithing silver? At any rate. I don't see that happening. I feel like that's such a niche thing to be smithing, because you don't smith silver in big quantities like you do gold. So many people are doing shooting stars now. It's because they know it's going to go away on Wednesday. It's not going to go. They're not going to nerf shooting stars. I'll be surprised if Jagex nerfs shooting stars. These are incredibly well balanced. Like there is, I can't see a downside to shooting stars. If anything, they're going to buff it for the person that first finds the star. That's what I've read that they were talking about at least. Why would they nerf it? I don't get the silver take like 500 bars and you're set for life. I don't fully get it either, but I'm sure Saber's got his own reasons. I doubt they're going to do anything to shooting stars. Double all mining XP? Yeah, at the very least. That's a very interesting video. Pretty consistent. It's interesting to see these numbers for sure, but I think taken away from this, it really does show how inconsistent mining is as a skill compared to other skills for sure. Why buff the message saying you are the first? That's so OP. I think it's only like the first 300 dust or something. Everyone hates mining, but no one talks about agility. It's because people will just alch and run rooftops. Giving like a check health style XP drop for discovering a start would be sick. What do you mean check health? I hope they had that buff for the person that finds the star, but but I've been burned before. That's true. Monash replied to a tweet saying that they might nerf them because of gems crashing, even though rubies and diamonds are up. Why would they nerf it when you've got bosses like Desert Treasure 2 bosses printing gems into the fucking game? I doubt they would do that. I could see them doing something if it's actually popping on servers. People on servers, but otherwise I don't see why they would. Nah, I reckon if you're worried about servers and people chasing level 7, 8, and 9 stars too much, put all level 7+ stars in the wilderness. Less people will be flocking to them. Less people will be hopping worlds to high-level stars. Because half of you guys are fucking cowards. You're not going to go to the fucking Wildy Mine star. I'm not. Hell no. I'll get fucking PK'd. Lose all my dust. Not happening. Multi-Wildy, just in the Wildy in general. This is the easiest room in the raid. It's quite simple. You got a big boy. Look at him. God damn. Fuck me. Look at that boy. Huge.